Hey everybody, how's it going? Alec and Stuff here. Long time no see, huh? I know it's been a while since the last time we saw each other, but you look good. You look real good. Anyways, I kind of wanted to take the time at the end of this video to sort of sit down and just talk with you about the past couple of months and really just kind of catch up with each other, you know? So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get right to the elephant in the room. And a question that's been on a few of you guys' minds already for quite some time now, and that is why I haven't posted anything for the past couple of months. Now, in the interest of sparing you the semantics, I'll just start off by saying that life happens. Sometimes certain things happen to us that we just can't expect. And earlier on this year, my life saw some very dramatic changes that left me feeling scared, sad, and even alone. I remember there were days where I woke up and I felt like I immediately wanted to go back to sleep. There were also some days where I felt this looming weight, like I felt heavy just existing and doing the things that I do day to day. And there were some days that I just didn't feel like doing anything at all, like making videos. And it sucks because there have been a lot of cool things that have happened over the past couple of months that I just haven't talked about here because I couldn't bring myself to. I couldn't bring myself to being the Alec that you're used to seeing in my videos because I just wasn't. I wasn't myself. I like to think that I'm a generally happy and overall kind of goofy guy. So for me to take myself out of it and kind of see myself in this state and in this way, I knew it was entirely out of character. And all of these feelings that I've been feeling as a result have lasted from early March up until just a few weeks ago. And I owe a lot to my awesome group of friends and family members for managing to help pull me out of what's been one of the lowest points of my life. Now, it took a while, but they were eventually able to beat it out of me just what exactly I was feeling, and have helped get me back on track to where I am now, which is feeling more like myself than I have felt in quite a long time. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. Over the course of the time that I've been away, I've also really missed talking with you guys about stuff like the latest Nintendo news and hearing your thoughts and going back and forth with you. I've missed talking to you. I realize though that it's definitely not fair to you for me to disappear the way that I did, and for that I am terribly, horribly sorry, and I hope you'll find it in your heart to forgive me, but I'm back and I'm feeling better than ever. Anyways, I think that's enough gloomy feelings for now. I don't want to talk about this much more than I already have at this point. So we'll just go ahead and end it off with, I'm very, very sorry. I love you, and thank you so much for sticking with me for as long as you have. So, moving on, let's go ahead and talk about some of the more fun, some of the more exciting things that have happened over the past couple of months. Starting with the Nintendo Switch and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh my gosh! Where do I even begin to talk about the Nintendo Switch? The last time you saw me, I was just getting home with my copy of Breath of the Wild and my Switch console, so at that point I was giving my initial impressions, and at that point they were generally pretty positive, and 2 months later, they still are very, very positive. I am absolutely in love with my Nintendo Switch, and if I remember correctly, after that night, I woke up the next day and immediately started playing more Zelda. That game is fantastic, but I'll get to that in a moment. So, with the Nintendo Switch, right, I'm absolutely in love with the concept that it is. It's a hybrid console, so I can bring it with me wherever I want, and I think it strikes the perfect blend of the Wii U and the 3DS, being that the Wii U was a little bit bulkier and was more tethered to the system, so the Switch is able to go wherever you want, and it's a little bit lighter and a little bit easier to hold and a little more comfortable. And it's also the perfect blend of the 3DS, where it's got the portable gaming aspect without any of the it's not being held back by the 3DS's resolution or hardware capabilities. It's got the perfect blend of both worlds, so it looks great. You can take it anywhere you go. And I'm honestly still not over the concept of being able to take it wherever I go. I don't even know, it's over there across the room, I'm not gonna get it. So, I take my Switch with me practically everywhere I go. I am a walking Nintendo Switch commercial, I just came to the realization of. I take this with me when I go to dinner, I take it with me to the dentist, I take it with me to the bank, I take it with me when I go out to dinner with friends. They give me dirty looks for it, but I do it anyways. And they have fun. We whip it out and we play Mario Kart. It's great. So, I am still not over the fact that I could take it wherever I go. And if you don't own one already, I would say go out and get one. It is an immediate suggestion, recommendation, if you will. And I am just absolutely in love with my Nintendo Switch. But of course, not only on that day did I pick up a Nintendo Switch, I also picked up The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and my goodness, that game is a literal masterpiece. I knew when I played it at E3 back in summer of last year that this game was going to be something special. Naturally, I had my doubts about it going in because I don't like to set my expectations too high. In my mind, I was like, this game can't be perfect, right? There has to be something that's going to hold it back for me, something that's going to knock it down from that 10 out of 10 for me. I have happily been proven wrong. This game is fantastic. The visuals are incredible. The environments are they're almost therapeutic in a way, with just how beautiful every vista is and how every environment, you can get so lost in it, and just the game's scope and the characters and the writing and the voice acting and how it just breaks every convention that we know about what it means to be a Legend of Zelda game. It does all of it so well, and I am just absolutely blown away by this game. Even now, 100 hours later, I am still just as in love with it as I was the first time. The only complaint that I have thus far is I won't be able to experience it the way I did the first time that I was playing through it again. This game is fantastic, and add on to the fact that it's on the Switch, that I can take it wherever. That just, oh my gosh! That still just blows my mind that I can take a game this grandiose and this huge and this big and this epic with me. I sound like a broken record at this point, but I am just so fascinated by the idea that I could play this game wherever I go. I play it with me in my bed while, again, I'm at the dentist, wherever. I can just take this brand new Zelda experience with me, this fantastic Zelda experience, mind you, wherever I go. I'm gonna stop talking about the portability of it because that's obviously a well-established fact at this point, but the fact of the matter is that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has got to be my favorite Zelda game at this point. I am going to hold off on making that my solidified opinion at this point, but I kind of want to get some more hours into it and kind of just think about it a little more, lull on it a bit before I actually make that call. But right now, from where I'm standing, I don't see why it's not going to take the top spot. This game is fantastic. And obviously, I am not the only person that shares this opinion, as 2.74 million Switch units have been sold as of March 31st. So it is currently early May, so that information is a little bit over a month old at this point. So that number is obviously going to be a lot more now. But that is a lot of units. I don't remember how that compares to the Wii U's initial sales goals, but just to give you an idea, Nintendo's goal was to sell 2 million Switch units by the end of March. That is over almost a million over their initial, kind of like their predictions and what they were hoping to sell. So obviously the Switch is well exceeding what they were expecting, which is great news because I think, as I said in that video that I posted when I first got it, I think that this console is a stroke of genius. It's going to be the second coming, if you will, of Nintendo as a company. And I feel like, just to the general public and people that don't really play games, it's going to be very appealing. It's also very appealing to the hardcore gamers like myself and people who just play games casually and competitively and just, you know, get all into it like I do. What am I saying? It's going to be very appealing to hardcore and casual gamers alike, and we can obviously see that through the kind of sales numbers that we're, you know, just kind of looking at right now. 2.74 million Switch units, and that's at the end of March, okay? So we're in the beginning of May right now. As I said earlier, it's probably a lot more than that at this point. I think the Nintendo Switch has a fantastic and a bright future ahead of it. And another great thing to note about the Switch in general is that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, this information is coming from the president and CEO of GameStop. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild saw a near 1-to-1 attach rate to Nintendo Switch consoles. That is insane! So what that means is, basically, for every person that bought a Switch, also bought Breath of the Wild, which is fantastic, not only for Breath of the Wild, but for the Switch itself, because it means that people are not only buying the console, they're buying games for it. They're wanting to take these amazing experiences wherever they go. And people are... I think this is more good news for Zelda than it is for the Switch. Obviously, it's good news in general, but especially for Zelda because it shows that people are interested. People are fascinated with the ideas that Breath of the Wild is bringing to the table, and rightfully so, because that game is fantastic. I don't know how many times I could say that game is fantastic, but let this be the upteenth time that I have. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is fantastic, and while it does surprise me that there is a 1-to-1 attach rate for this game to the Switch, it also doesn't because of how just great of a game it is. And when I said earlier that it's a near 1-to-1 attach rate, it's actually a little bit more. So not only is every Switch owner buying Breath of the Wild with their Nintendo Switch, there are also people out there that are just buying Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Switch and not getting a console, which can be easily explained by the Switch not being readily available in stores at the moment. So I figure some people in their minds are just like, oh, I'll just pick up Zelda now and then wait to get a Switch when it comes in stock. That makes sense. But just seeing these numbers is fantastic, and as a hardcore Nintendo fan, I'm loving all of the stuff that I'm seeing about the Switch so far. Something else to talk about is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is now the fastest selling game in the franchise, beating out the Wii version by, I'm not sure how many copies, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe currently, as it was last measured, sold through 459,000 copies, which is roughly half of the entire Nintendo Switch user base. So that is also great news because nearly about 2 months, or a month and a half, we'll call it. A month and a half after the Switch's release, there is still a lot of interest in new software for it, which is fantastic. That is my new favorite word of the day, is fantastic. This is fantastic news for the Nintendo Switch. It's fantastic news for people that are picking up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, more people to play with on the servers. It's fantastic news for Switch owners and Switch developers. There's just a lot of general interest in this console, and I love seeing Nintendo do so well. I haven't felt this happy about talking about them since the Wii. I mean, we had the Wii, that was fantastic. It was a worldwide phenomenon. Then we had the Wii U, which was relatively depressing to talk about because not a lot of my friends owned it, and they were kind of like, what's the point of getting a Wii U? Blah, blah, I'll just wait for the next one. And here I was just kind of experiencing all these kind of cool games to myself. But now we have this just all around just rejuvenated interest and renewed life in the company as a whole, and I love seeing Nintendo do so well. I love them so much, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a fantastic game. I got sent a review copy of it a couple of weeks ago. It is great, and also thank you to Nintendo of America for sending that copy to me. I am actually working on a review as we speak, so look for that in the next week or so. But yes, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a great game. It builds upon an already great game, I should say. And it's selling very, very well. So if you have a Switch, I would definitely recommend picking up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as well. Something else, and not quite as exciting news for everyone, but more for me, I have this new chair. So the chair that I had before was terrible. And for a long time now, I've actually had these back pains, I want to say. It sounds like I'm 50 years old at this point, but it makes sense because a lot of the time I'm sitting at my desk either playing games or editing videos, or, you know, I just spend a lot of time at my desk, and having a chair that didn't quite support my back as well kind of made that worse and kind of almost accentuated my back pains to a degree where I was like, okay, I really need to buy a new chair with some sort of back support because the pain was getting ridiculous. But ever since I got this chair, it's about a week old for me at this point, my back pains have reduced, and I've started to actually get out a little bit and started doing some exercise for stuff like that. I don't want to be like 25 and have the back pains of an 80-year-old, but no, this chair is it's really nice. The build quality, I can't really speak to what kind of materials are commonly used in chairs, but this material, it feels nice. I like the color scheme. It kind of matches the setup with my computer, which you can't see, but my favorite color is blue, if that tells you anything. So I like the color scheme. It's got this pillow down here and this pillow up here for neck and back support. They feel really nice. They're fully adjustable. I can move them around as I please. And overall, I'm just incredibly satisfied with this chair. This is from eWin Racing, or eWin. This is the racing series of chairs that they sell. They're a newer company, so I bought it pretty cheap. They have a lot of discounts going on right now. So I'm also very, very pleased with the price that it came at. So it was very cheap, and it's very, very comfortable, and I'm very satisfied. So, oh, and one thing it does. Whoa! Look at that! Fully reclinable up to 180 degrees. But no, I'm very satisfied with it. I don't know why I'm talking about this chair as much as I am, but I got a new chair is basically what I'm trying to say. And lastly, one of the highlights of the past couple of months, I don't know why I'm showing you this, but is this brilliant piece of promotional art for ARMS? Springman, what are you doing? And I think that about wraps up the past 2 months, actually. So, I guess in closing, I'd like to say that I'm very, very sorry once again for disappearing for as long as I did without any real explanation up until this point. As I said earlier, I've been struggling to deal with a lot of stuff emotionally going on in my life, and I'm just really, really sorry. And if you stuck around this far into the video, I want to say thank you. I know at this point it's probably pretty long, so thank you so much for listening to me babble about a bunch of random stuff. And what else was I gonna say? Alright. And of course, you know what's coming. Of course, as always, I'm Alec and Stuff, and I will see you all again real soon. I promise. Bye. Extend it out a little further.
Whoa.
What am I doing? Okay. Is it going?
Oh wait.
What was that?
Oh my god!